Hello, everybody. Welcome on back. Apologies for the 40-minute video. Oh, I swear I'm really trying to do better about that. And like when I start season 5 or chapter 5. See, I don't know. I've been playing a lot more Fortnite. Not a lot more, but I've been playing and watching a lot more Fortnite. We'll put it that way. Anyways, um, but not Call of Duty yet. Like we're not ready for that. We're not going to be doing that. So, anyways, actually, real quick. So I started talking about Crips and Denver, and then I went off on like, rappers and famous people and people that I have no connection to whatsoever, and literally no, because I did write an email to Wu-Tang asking if I could play some of their music in my streams, just asking their permission because I understand copyright law, and I definitely, and I've bought a lot of their music in the day. Don't get me wrong, I've bought multiple CDs. So, anyways, I mean the tattoo, I don't know, that's kind of a thing. But same with like I have a shirt that like my buddy gave me, my hardcore Trump MAGA buddy gave me, that I actually wore in my citizenship video, just to show like how bipartisan and how purple I am. Even though I always vote Democrat, but the ideas I can understand them. And see right there, it's like I still consider myself purple because I still talk to the other side, and I don't think that there's really. I mean, I know that there's two sides, but it's like, ugh. As long as they're not being all hyphy and crazy, like then I'm okay. But that's important to point out is like even someone who's like very patient, very and I'm not trying to flatter my ego or anything. I'm just saying like I'm very patient when it comes to that because I get it. Like I mean, certain situations it makes more sense to lean Republican versus Democrat or vice versa, like city versus rural. That's it. But even up in the small town, I still had more of a bleeding heart than like not that my friends didn't, but they were more concerned about the money. And see right there, we were all kind of poor. Like the prison isn't, you don't go, it's not Hollywood. Like you're not going out to make millions of dollars. Like it's just ridiculous. Like no, we were all pretty poor. A lot of people had like drinking problems. AA was like pretty common. But then we also had a bunch of like hunting clubs and gun clubs. So like you either took out your pain and depression of like being poor up in a mountain town that's cold all the time to like, you know, I mean, it's South Park. Like in a nutshell, you look at South Park. That's why that show was so wildly popular. Is because, oh, and like let's talk about those Navajo water rights. Okay, like that was in Colorado. I didn't realize that, but that was one of Buena Vista's biggest things. We hated Denver. We hated Colorado Springs. We hated Boulder, like Golden, especially Golden. Freaking Golden. Like taking all the water for their beer. Like, and that was the thing is because water rights is a very sensitive topic because Buena Vista doesn't have a lot. And then we depended on river rafting. So if the river was low because there was a drought, the rafting wasn't as good, the tourism suffered, and then the economy of my entire town went upside down. Like, people didn't have as much money. Like people had to like let go workers. I mean, you talk about COVID being bad, water rights directly, and that's just so we can float on a rubber boat down a river and go wee. Like, we're talking the Navajos trying to drink water for their kids and their life. Like that's it's maddening. Like it's angering. Like I'm so ugh. So what do I do about it? Well, rather than do anything that's destructive or counterproductive or hacktivism, I would never do that. And I signed an oath. I took an oath. I did. So I don't have a security clearance, but it doesn't matter. I took an oath. And the Crip blood thing. So Crips, OG Crip fam. I once knew a gal that was the descendant of OG Crip fam, basically. She was a sweetheart, really nice. We worked together, and she's a good friend. Although I'd say more past tense because like we kind of stopped talking, um, and for good reason. I don't know, things got weird for a little while there, and I kind of distanced myself from a lot of people just to kind of like play it safe, like just to not. I don't know how do I say that. There was attention being drawn, and I didn't want to draw it on everybody. So, anyways, the point is like I knew somebody, and without saying too much, which is kind of ridiculous because anyone in Denver might actually already know this, but she had a purple house, and she worked hard, mind you. That's how I knew her. We worked together, and like one of the hardest working people I've ever known. Did everything honestly, had kids, lost a brother to gang warfare, like, is BS. Like, and for the same music that I listened to and loved it, And then you'd see like in South Park again for the win had the episode of the Crips and the Bloods, and it laid it out perfectly. It was like, the only reason they kept killing each other and still do today is for gang initiation to prove they're the hardest, or they're, you don't understand my society, my environment, my struggle. So then you're gonna try to like say you better than me, and like, even then it's like, and so you need to watch movies like South Central and like, certain things to kind of understand. Well, and especially if you're not from America, like this is all really foreign to, well, people that are foreign from this place. But it's not at the same time because we're all people. And I gotta imagine India's got their things with gangs and like, the bad boys and stuff, which is more like the people stealing. Because the thing with India is there's a lot of technological advantage already because of the business. Like, there's a lot of subcontracting out for tech support from India, and rightfully so because they're very knowledgeable about tech. They have a lot of tech over there. So it's like, I don't know. But I mean, and they look, again, I will iterate. I went to Mumbai last year, and I'll be going again, like, at some point. It's like, it was just so different than what I pictured, and I'm glad I did. And even as much as I can Google and as much as I can, Slumdog Millionaire. Anyways, back to the Crip House. So the Crip House, I say that because that's just how I refer it, because it was bright purple, and I still don't even understand. Because technically, and I had a friend, a blood friend, that would tell me it's for, and mind you, I have Norteño friends, Sudeño, like just about every prison gang. Like I have friends that, just because it is. Like, I mean, and Fort Collins is like kind of like a gathering place. It's a college town, but also it's got quite a bunch of like, reformed criminals, felons, and all this. But then it's like felons directly interacting with the community and blending the two environments of societies together. Granted, well, okay, the house. Let's talk about the house. So it was around the time that Elijah McClain and the riots and like the protests and I always start with riots because that is like one of the main concern, and understandably so with Republicans because that's all they see. Like that's all Fox News was blasting was their side of the story, and so it just kept further driving the Republicans away from black people basically for a while there. I mean, and we felt it like, and it was awkward for the people supporting All Lives Matter because they thought it was more of a patriotic thing. And and I agree with that too. All lives do matter. I totally agree with that. And I just remember it was such an interesting time because, especially in Colorado and Oregon, mind you, the two places that have a bunch of legal drugs, like legal substances, are having the most progress, the most thought. I mean, it's ugly at times. Oregon has a huge homeless population, but again, it's because they have legal drugs. Like people are flocking there because they're trying to escape whatever harsh reality their current state or abortion rights or whatever. Like, but you could go to Oregon and smoke weed, like, and it has been that way for a long time. But now, and I knew people that, well, let's see, I've heard of stories where, no, it's just like weed becoming legal made so much go away. Black markets, like violence, danger, like, I mean, not go away altogether, like it's still around, but the severity of it and the niche of it. Because even when I was a kid, and weed was illegal, like it was being gangster just to like go pick up weed. And like, and the people that were the most gangster in Buena Vista, they had the most weed. It wasn't like crack, coke, heroin, or anything like the real drugs, but no, it was weed. And so then it's like, oh, well, they're not such a bad person, like, because then you get to know these people. You're like, oh, okay, well, wait, what? And there's a meme like that too. Is like what you thought drug dealers looked like, and it was like the guy from SpongeBob that's like the goth cowboy. He's got the knife and he's all scary and he's like, and it's like that's what you would picture. Oh, the cow's just chilling over there. That's cool. But anyways, that's what you'd picture. And then what drug dealers really are, and it's like some nerdy kid like meeting you behind it. And it's again a SpongeBob thing. But anyways, the Crip thing, and Elijah McClain and the protests, and I supported the BLM like I did. I supported BLM, but I understood what All Lives Matter meant, and so did everybody I talked to, like mostly. And then it was like after they started talking, because at first it was like, no, they were yelling at each other, they were angry, and the All Lives Matter people were so confused because they weren't racist. They were just saying, it's not just black people. We need to worry about all of these people getting killed, but then all of the cops that get killed too. And it is a very real thing. The danger goes both ways. And that's why, so let me finish the Crip House thing. And I do have an alarm set for today. at half an hour, so we won't be running the 40 minutes, but whatever, I'm gonna leave it. I'm already uploading it as we speak, so, and I'm gonna run like a whole chain of like 4, 5, 6, 20. I counted 13 from the 20th. Maybe not that much. It's already late in the day. Those were like all dayers where I just like did nothing but the craft. So, but anyways, the Crip house, and I hate to keep calling that the house that was purple. It should be the purple house, and I hope she's painted it since. And even not, I mean, I apologize. You know who you are, but that's not my intention. But I had this crazy idea, and it kind of caused some concern for people. Um, that okay, so I saw a problem. 4 cops lost their jobs because they did a chokehold Instagram picture. It was a joke that was distasteful, and I don't support it. However, their jobs, like their jobs, like this is what they do for a living. If they have kids, they're not feeding them for a while. So all right, then they got to go line up at the food bank, go into the unemployment line, and then a lot of them probably right after because they felt. And it's funny because a lot of people that feel so secure in their own jobs will get mad at people on unemployment, myself included, because I was working so hard and I was like, man. I know these people aren't working hard. Like they might be stressing out, and the anxiety is very real, and and that doesn't really help to get them back into a job, which a lot of social worker type people understand, thankfully. But I mean, still doesn't change the fact that you're out there busting your hump doing it. Anyways, my point is they didn't deserve to lose their jobs. Now they should have done something to apologize, and that's where this solution it just dropped neatly in my lap. I just happened to know the right people, and I was just like, and that's it. Like I was nothing special. Again, like I was just a nosy person. I hate being nosy, but I kind of am too. And you have to be nosy to be good in IT because you have to like detect the problem and see. Because a lot of people like they're scared or they're angry to admit that they have a tech problem, and I get it. Like, it stinks. Like, you could be the smartest person. I've met some brilliant people, myself included. I'm just kidding. I mean, again, normal person, but I've met some very brilliant people, and like, yet it's the smallest thing will just humble them. And we used to joke about it all the time, like, oh, is that this kind of error? And once we knew it, then we'd kind of laugh about it. But it was traumatizing. Like, so, anyways, these people losing their jobs, a house that needed painted. I said, hey, what if we approach and I didn't write any people about this because it wasn't to that stage yet. I had a lot of people. So first I just wanted to help out my friend. She needed a house painted. She didn't want it to be purple. And my blood friend said that it was an agreement between the Bloods and the Crips. But a lot of other people I know thought it was a Crip house. And that's why I keep calling it Crip house because it's like, I mean, people mistake. Like, I don't even know what the color for Crips is. I've heard it's blue, but then it's like purple, and then I don't know. However, apparently, purple is the combined of, and I know that from the color wheel and like science and understanding the visual spectrum or the color spectrum. Purple is what you get when you mix red and blue. Like, ah, cool. Um, so it's supposed to be peace. Now, I don't know who to trust, and I didn't really ask around a lot of people because, I mean, I'm not that nosy. Like, I'm nosy to the point where if there's something I can do to help, then cool. But if it's not my place, then it's not my place, and I'll easily, politely bow out and be like, hey, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Good luck in here. Or here's what I can do. And that's the other thing is like when I see people on the side of the street asking for money, I haven't done it yet, but I want to print out all the resources. Not my YouTube channel, mind you. I mean, at least not until I like get a lot of cool stuff. But even that, I don't feel right like handing someone a YouTube channel like, "Hey, go get your GED," because then that's assuming that they don't have their GED. Like maybe they're like a physicist that's like just out of work because, even though all of the ins and outs of the world, it's hard out there for a physicist because nobody's paying millions of dollars for physics. Like, oh, that's the other thing with Neil. Oh, sorry. No, my point was if I would have approached the mayor or the governor or like any of these people, and I don't talk to any of these people, mind you, like this would be a cold call email sent out saying, hey, I have this idea. What do you think? And especially with the chief of police, like in Denver, I think it was Aurora specifically, because that's where Elijah was from. And I have a buddy who's a cop in Aurora. And so like I have a vested interest to like make sure they're all safe. And I don't know, even if he would joke about something like that, like I wouldn't see him. And he's from, okay, not too much, not too much. Hold on. My point being is that I understand both sides of the argument. Like a person died, a person was out at night. I mean, in a place that has a lot of crime. So imagine how scared, people are walking around out there. And I've had friends go live there and stuff and tell me about it. And it's sketchy sometimes because it is kind of like a poorer area, but then it's also like next to a bunch of rich areas, and then that it's like a tornado when the air pressures combine to make the tornado. That's exactly it. Like it's not a cash tornado like the cheesy thing on Matilda, the TV show, but it is. It's a recipe for a perfect storm of class warfare potential. Also, we have a ton of wood. I don't know why I'm going back. Oh, we should plant. That's right. I dropped the stack and then okay. All right. Anyways, and yeah, mind you, my entire generation was like that. We had Wu-Tang, we had Snoop Dogg, we had like, Eminem, and we had like the progression of hip hop and rap into like psychological and behavioral issues. Like Stan on Eminem. It is creepy. Like it is. Oh wait, I have all this. See, I need more chests. Let's see how much we can make. 30. That's good. We're gonna make like an entire. Like at first we're just gonna tuck them in there, but then could do that. All right, and then because I don't want to upset the vistas. And Buena Vista is good view in Spanish. And we don't say it Buena Vista. And I speak Spanish. Yo hablo español, pero no bueno. Más o menos como un niño que tienen 5 años, más o menos. You know, some people would say it's good, but that's like a line I've rehearsed many times when I was traveling in a place that spoke Spanish. And we knew like the name. We thought we knew the name for pimp, like just because we wanted to know what it was, and no idea what that is. I mean, we thought it was like proxeneta, but and it's like papi chulo, and then even then I don't even know. But and then I got copyright for doing J Balvin's thing, and like, can you believe it? Let's do a chest for chests. This is the chest of chests. In fact, yeah, no, I'm just kidding. We could do chestception. Oh, sorry. My point was if I ever talked to the Denver mayor or the governor or whoever could do that or the chief of police and just pass on, because I mean, well, I don't want to say too much, but anyways, if I would have done that, but it wasn't ready. It wasn't a good enough plan yet. But my idea was if those 4 officers would have agreed to volunteering to paint this house for that reason to help with like gang crime, which is still running amok down there. I mean, I don't even know what it is. Like, again, I haven't even checked on Darfur to see how the child soldiers are doing, much less, gang activity in my own backyard in Colorado. So, I mean, I want to say it's getting better, but, well, is the economy getting better? Like, are people's lives getting better? Yes, they are. Actually, I just saw the thing for free school lunches for everyone in Colorado. Like, you still have to sign up, but at least it's there. Like, I mean, and that is a barrier, too. Some people are too proud to accept a handout. And that's where we need to come together as a society. See, yeah, let's go plan a bunch of these. That's what I was trying to. And yeah, whatever. We need to come together as a society and just be better people and just understand that like it's hard out there for people. I mean, people are all working hard. Nobody's slacking. Like you physically cannot slack. And I heard California's unemployment is even worse. You get like 6 months and then boom, like you get no more help. And if you don't have a good family structure, or say there's a lot of death in your family, or they're in prison, any of these factors, then you're on your own. And you're on your own in a bad economy after a pandemic. Whether you believe in the pandemic or not, I mean, a lot of people died. Because I've had this argument with some people. It's like, well, no, and I've heard it too. And sorry, not to try to mock them, because I just find it really dumb. Because like even after, people are slow to admit that they're wrong. And that's I do it too. But like this one is especially dumb. It's like, well, what if they're false reporting the COVID deaths because they're trying to, and that's some fear mongering nonsense that, same with the stolen election. Like, you want to see a stolen election? I'll show you a stolen election. Al Gore should have been president. And like, I'm not even that political, but that upset me quite a bit. Partly because my buddy rubbed it in my face. It was like a race. It was like a NASCAR race. And I hate NASCAR too for the same reason that, well, I mean, I actually like Blue Collar Comedy Tour, but I hate NASCAR because it's just, they're turning left and like, oh, let's go drive cars real fast. And like, granted, it is a lot of adrenaline and inducing, like, I mean, as far as like extreme sports, I understand it, but same with golf too. It's like, I love shooting pool, like billiards. Wait, we're not doing that. Oh, we should make yeah, because we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing some gardening, so we need a mechanism to convert bone meal. Have I already done that at this spot? I feel like I just built it. I built it at the memorial shrine. That's what it was. And I'll probably build another one. I'm looking at the map right now. Over there by the bunny, which is like the land to the left of it, but it's also like an upside down person. Oh, needless to say, sorry. I really want to finish that story. The purple house didn't happen. I hope she did paint it. I haven't talked to her for a while, and that was part of it too because I was involving her in a lot of nonsense. And like right here talking about it, I'm worried about even just saying that because I'm worried about what's going on down there. So I mean, if it hasn't been painted, then like I'm, you know, ugh. I don't know. Please just kindly disregard any of this. And all of that to say is like, I'm not judging any of their lifestyles or choices or whatever. I don't agree or disagree with any of it. I'm only focusing on there was a house. It didn't look right. It looked like Willy Wonka or something, but it was what she could do, and she paid for it. Like, so it's and she got kids too, man. Like, she has kids, I have kids. It's a parent to a parent thing. Was basically what I saw it as, but it was possibly dangerous. So I was like, you know what, that's fine. I mean, I didn't want to push the issue, and then I talked to my buddy about it, and like, that's as far as it went. I wasn't about to approach the governor or the mayor because I didn't have it like ready. Um, but she said it was okay. She liked it. She agreed. She thought it was a cool idea, and it was a joke. It was a distasteful joke, and that they did on the Instagram thing, and they should have been punished. Yeah, like suspend them for a couple of weeks without pay. So they got to go do odd jobs and go learn what it is to do like unemployment and stuff. Like, or yeah, there you go. They should file for unemployment, like lose their job for like a month or two. But then that stresses the police department. So that's why I was like, the four people losing their jobs, and then they got to go hire four people. I was thinking the business side of it too. It was like, and it is a little cold and calculating, but not intentionally. Like, it wasn't exclusively cold and calculating. Sorry, I also need iron and which I now have that, so we need this. Okay. Do we have any more? I mean, we have a little bit, but do anything to smelt copper? But basically, like, I mean, once people really understand what other people are going through, almost 9 times out of 10, the situation is better. Like, it just is. I mean, and that's compassion. We all do it because we're all human. And it doesn't matter what we look like. And that's the other thing. I really like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil. We'll just call him Neil. Um, because he said something similar like that. Like he did a post, I forget what it was exactly, but he was explaining how. Okay, you know what? And I'm just gonna do it. But then we're gonna have to. What if I move him forward? But then here, I mean, I've done weirder things. Like, did you check the back compartment? So this could be a design fail too. Actually, let me show you what I'm talking about. Which I did something like this, similar to this. And now we need item frames. So unfortunately, yes, we are going to have to kill some cows. Or llamas. But that's not why I'm keeping llamas. I don't know. It's weird. It makes more sense for me to kill a wild animal than the ones that I've tamed. And I think part of that is because understanding keeping pets, like having dogs and cats for house pets, they're expensive. You're investing time. And look, here's a stray llama, hanging out. Ooh, and actually, I think we can feed. Can we feed and breed them? Then do I want to be killing llamas? Sorry, all of that to say, and this is all a video game, but I don't know. That's why, like, whenever I have dreams, I'm very reserved about what I do because it's like, what if it's not a dream? What if you're just like having a bad day and like you're just really tired and you think this is happening? All right, anyways. Oh, this is so much, and so much would be better if we didn't treat people like criminals. Criminals and slackers. Because that's the other thing. Like all those people that did lose their jobs during COVID because businesses just couldn't stay open. A lot of it had to do with just how. Let's see, we need some chests, like two, 1 2, 1 2 1 2. That's like a Wu-Tang song. But anyways, it's and then we need two more chests. See, 1 2, and a composter. That's a cauldron. See, I almost say that because it looks like what a composter looks like in in normal Minecraft because it's just a brown box that looks like a bunch of wood slabs. But what we need to do is we need to make some wood slabs. Like that should be good. And then we have. Wait, what? Is it more? We got 6 slabs. It is more. There it is. It's 9. Or no, what is that? 367. Okay. Then there's 36 Mafia 2. That was sad. I loved their music growing up. Also bought a lot of their music. But I did not care for their live performance. Mostly because there's only two of them. And so, but that's hard because you have a few moving parts, like a few people that got a lot of money out of nowhere. Um, like their music was all about like drugs and gang stuff, and it's like, and it was entertaining though because it was wilding out, it was hyphy, it was everything, and like I don't know, we were just a bunch of bored rednecks up in the mountains. So yeah, wait, did I do this right? Hopper and that. Okay. So I know I went up there to make sure that yeah, that's right, because then I can put this, and then it goes in the hopper, which feeds that. So this is really, so you can, this is excessive, and I pointed this out a couple episodes ago. You could really just do this, and do this. Oh, wait, actually, I don't want to do that because we are going to start a farm. In fact, we've already kind of started a farm. This is just what I do whenever I'm settling in an areas. I think that's kind of generic, like settlers, like colonists. Like when you're moving to a new area, you tend to ensure that your basic needs are met. Your food, your shelter. See, we have nice shelter. And it's excessive because I don't know how big I want it to be or what I need it for. Like already I needed a ton of storage just for the plans that I have for helping out the village, and the village might not even want my help, but they're going to need so if they don't want my help, then I'm going to have to create a lot of jobs here. See, now we're doing like economies and stuff like on a large scale, like but with Minecraft, which is basically like a modeling. Like these are very basic for what was that? Okay, well, we're almost at 30 minutes, so I mean, we will be here in I think it was just the air conditioning, but yeah, and the heat wave. All those people that died, Greg Abbott or whatever. And again, this is because of my own echo chamber. I get a lot of Democratic stuff on my Twitter and stuff. Mostly Twitter is where I get most of my news now. And love him or hate him, Elon did a great thing with Twitter. He's doing a great thing. He forced us to confront each other. And same with the Joe Rogan debate. I'm kind of undecided about that. Like, I really think the vaccine expert, whoever he is, I mean, he shouldn't be harassed. That's illegal, and shame on all those people for doing that, taking it that far. But I think he should debate Joe Rogan just because, but do it comfortably too. Like I saw Joe Rogan say, "I will donate $100,000 to the charity of your choice to come on my show," and that's because it's going to make him a ton of money. Whether and the vaccines too, and ivermectin and whatever you believe about that. I've seen the Google search, like, and you can too. Search Google, search ivermectin in India, like, and I would have to ask to really know for sure. But every article I saw was like they tried it, but it didn't work. And it's like, and also you got to remember, COVID kind of goes away on its own too. Like the way its sickness is. Like, yes, it is still very dangerous and deadly, but it is like the flu, and the flu kills a lot of people every year that we don't realize. Immunocompromised or the elderly or the younger or the sick. Like you get sick with anything, they could die, and it's like, ugh. I mean, these are problems that we need to solve as societies. Oh wait, we were doing wheat, and where's my house? So that's also why I like the bigger house and the giant tower, because even then, like if you're in a forest, an artificial forest that you created in a land that didn't have a lot of trees, see right there, we're decreasing the carbon footprint, planting a lot of trees, but we know that we're keeping that for wood. I probably have entire fields of hemp because that has better, actually, even as I say that, I don't need sticks bad enough to have these, and you can burn these, but they're annoying. They don't make good fuel, and this is even really horrible too, because like even smelting this stuff, anything that requires energy could be like a wind turbine or whatever, but it's fine. It's not meant to be accurate, as you can see from the blocks. And like this, like the tree doesn't even have like curves. It's up and down or left and right. So you could put this the other way, like see, there. You can artificially create something that looks, actually, that's kind of cool. Wait, where did that go? There. Although it almost looks too big. Like really right there, like this looks kind of good if you could have like a thinner one. Or even make it like, I don't know, that. that looks better almost. It's still not great. It almost looks like a face. And there is an explanation for that too. Seeing faces in nature, there's a scientific description of that. Oh, and then full circle from episode 1 of today, whatever I'm calling these things. Science and religion. Like, okay, so, and even the polytheism versus monotheism, it's now like the more that we explain things like the sea and war and all this and poverty and, we still say we're like at war with terror and things that we don't understand, which it's actually very simple. If there's people that are having a hard time with money, and especially with substances, but even without substances, like anyone who's having a hard time with money, it's going to be a different situation. Like, and people that have a lot of money don't see it. It's a blind spot for them. They're like, oh, and then they act surprised when people, get all angry and do things. Sorry, that sounds really mobster-like or anything. I never condone violence or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, like, crime makes sense when you understand people's upbringings, their backgrounds, and, just about every social worker worth their salt understands this intimately. But they're powerless to do anything about it with the rest of the stuff. Like, if they had food, if they had shelter, if they had education, and if they had all of these things for a prolonged period of time, and money too, because part of it is dignity, and a phone, because you can't do anything without a phone. And now that you have to have a smartphone to do like multi-factor for anything, you have to do multi-factor authentication for unemployment. That is a thing. So it was cool, and I did. I did unemployment for a while, and I set up multi-factor authentication, and I had to have a phone for that. If I didn't have a phone, whew, that's some extenuating circumstances or additional problems caused by the solutions we have in place. Well, that's why our government is so fluid, but it's also so paralyzed too, because and for good reason too. We have like the largest gun in the world, the U.S. military, and all the bases. Like, yeah, it's we need to be very cautious with how we approach anything. And 20 years of just all out, basically like occupation, invasion, and war, like we're still a little sore from that. And that's why, like, and a lot of times, like, and I fully blame Republicans for that. I do, because it was George Bush and Cheney. Anyways, and it was for 9/11 that may or may not have happened the way that they said it did. So, I mean, it happened. Yeah, planes hit towers, but who did what? Because that's the other thing, too. I love Saudi Arabia. I hate their, how they treat women, but again, religion, it's kind of constricting over there. But they're waking up, and the more they understand, the more they integrate with society, the more they realize even if God exists, and yeah, that's still fine. You can say God exists, praise God, salam alaikum and alaikum salam are actually like greetings with God. Salam, like Allah, and then it's like go with God. I'm pretty sure. I mean, like 90% sure. And that's fine. And their flag, it says there's only one God, true God, and that is Allah. And it's like, okay, I mean, fair enough. Like, we got a lot of people that say the true God is, Jesus. And it's like, that's not fair. Especially because the majority of the people that follow Christianity, well, I'm saying, not, so I can't even say that because now Christianity is pretty much spreading. How do you say that? Most people know Jesus is white because most people that have tech believe this, or at least see him as a picture as that. And that's an unfortunate side effect of trying to, not whitewash, but trying to change the demographic of Jesus to whoever is worshiping Jesus, because he's supposed to be like the God savior for all of God's children, everybody. But that gets lost when the only people that are actually spreading it, tweeting it, sharing pictures, having televangelists, like things are on the TV, it's white Jesus. White Jesus won in the religious race war. So if black Jesus would have won, maybe we wouldn't have had to protest for Elijah McClain's death. So things to think about. And mind you, one of my really religious friends is black, and it's just like, and I grew up with that. One of the few black people I knew that I'd ever even seen or interacted with in real life. I mean, I've seen pictures, cool, but like actually like met people, talked to them, and especially, and I'm talking ghetto people too. Like once I started going down to the city and stuff, then but only because like wealth disparities and people moving. Anyway, sorry, that's my time. I'll see you in the next one. All right, ta-ta.